A welder instructor in prison was what you would consider to be one of the good old boys. You know, he was the type of country cat that, you know, he was raised in a small area where there was no blacks. I mean, he told me, it's like, man, where I was raised at, and I can't remember exactly where it was in Arkansas, but it was one of those towns where he was like, man, we don't see a lot of, you know, black people. And actually, he didn't even use the word black. He said, man, we didn't see a lot of colored people, man, where I'm from. I'm like, damn, you know. But, you know, he was a cool guy. And then I remember him telling me that he was like, you know, some people have the talent to just pick up on it, and some people have to really, really stick at it, and some people just won't get it because you know, they get scared of getting burnt, or they don't like the light, or, you know, it do have work involved in it, you know, sweat and, you know, getting dirty. So, you know, some people, you know, don't want to get into it for that reason. But he told me this. He said, hey, learn how to manipulate that stick. He said, learn how to manipulate that stick, because if you can do structural welding with a stick and you can do pipe welding with a stick, you would never be without a job. And he was like, in this class that I was taking, in this course, I had to get 40 hours. And it was around, I think the course took me around 14 months, probably like 9 months, actually, because they had breaks in between them. But the course actually, you know, took me a little time, but it was a combination of welding. So that's what I got, a certificate to be certified in combination of welding and MIG, stick, and TIG. So I welded in all positions. I took tests in all positions and passed well in 1 to 4. 1 to 4G is what I took the tests in. So needless to say, I passed. I got a good grade, and that guy name was Mr. Scorch, if I ain't mistaken. And I remember him telling me, you know, because I had finished the class kind of early and I still had time, and he wanted me to be one of his clerks to help, you know, teach the other guys. And I was like, man, I want to get to this other unit so I can start welding to, you know, get on my practice before I get out, you know what I mean? And he was like, well, you know, I understand this and that. But he was like, hey, we got enough time. I can teach you something that can really make you some money. And I was like, what's that? He said, I'm going to teach you how to pipe weld 6G. I said, what? What is that? You know, he showed me how to bevel the pipe. He showed me how to burn it, the angle of the rod. He said, learn this 6G, and you can do any position with this stick. He said, because that's going to always be an asset, from water pipe to gas pipe. He was like, it's always going to be a need, and also with structural welding as well. He said, because if you get 6G certified, you don't have to get certified in 3G or 4G. You know, 6G will cover everything. So I was like, okay, I kept that in mind. So he opened up a door for me. And to this day, I'm thankful, because that class didn't teach pipe welding, but he taught me how to fit my own pipe, bevel it, how to weld it, how to know how to get good penetration, what it should look like in the inside. He showed me the whole game. So I'm thankful for that. And if it wasn't for that opportunity in prison for me, you know, having faith to get in the class, because other people was like, man, they got this racist dude in there, man, you don't want to go in there, man, dude ain't gonna teach you nothing, because all it was honestly white guys, and it was me and another black guy. You know, it was 3 of us that went to class. We all talking like, hey, we gonna go in here. So it was 3 of us and like 15 white guys, you know what I mean? And we went in there, it was like, hey, we finna learn it. And all of us passed except one guy. One guy, he just couldn't get it. It just, you know, it wasn't for him, you know what I mean? But I am thankful for that opportunity, man, that I used it in prison, that, you know, I used prison to get my GED. And I got my GED in prison in '99. And I used prison to go to college for small business management so I can learn how to do business. And I got my certifications in welding to, you know, start off welding, and a combination of welding from B.L.A.C.K. So I got 40 hours in that. And I was able to utilize that prison time, you know. So it wasn't that I just did 10 years in prison, which that's what I did. I went in from 16 to 26, so I didn't just do a decade in prison. I utilized it. So once I woke up, you know, I did some foolish stuff, trying to figure out, find myself, you know, getting into fights, getting into stabbings, doing things. But once I found myself, I started educating myself. And I was like, if I get out of here, I'm going to use this time to get me ahead instead of put me behind. Because most people get out of prison, they be behind. And I didn't want to get out and be behind. Hold on. You see it's getting hot out here in Phoenix. I'm sweating a little bit. Hold on.